Hello and welcome to Expert View. In my experience, working with business owners, I have encountered many businesses that pay a great deal of attention to core business aspects like sales, customers, products, etc., but not enough on ensuring the legal sustainability of their business. In today's discussion, I want to have that dialogue. I have with me today Vibhu Verma from Verma Verma Solicitors and Advocates. Hi, Vibhu. Great to have you with us today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's great being here.
Thanks. Based in Delhi, Vibhu has 14 years of experience as a corporate legal counsel and is an expert in areas such as corporate governance and compliance, litigation and litigation management, company law, and many, many more areas. Vibhu, it would be great if you can share with us what Verma Verma does.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So, Verma Verma has been a law firm for more than 30 years now, and I'm happy to be a part of it. So, we are into corporate governance and compliance for startups as well as big corporates. We also have a wing for litigation and other legal issues that people encounter in their everyday working and lives. So we help corporates as well as startups in their structuring as well as restructuring also, and also help companies in their business development.
Thank you so much, Vibhu, for giving us some more, sharing those details with us. This recording is mostly for small and medium business owners, and I want to have this conversation from that perspective. I think, and so I'll stay with basics. And the first of these is really, many times people aren't aware of what the mandatory legal compliances that a small and medium business should have. Could you throw some light on that?
See, as if we see compliance as such as a word, what is compliance? Compliance is basically a predetermined framework within which all these organizations and companies are supposed to operate.
Mhm.
So the legal system in India is one of the best in the world. They have developed this system for all these corporates and companies also, so that the operations that they do within their companies is as smooth as possible, which includes right from taking care of the business that they do to taking care of the employees they are working under them. Because if the employees of a company are happy, then their productivity increases, and in turn they will help grow the company along with them.
Excellent. So, I mean, if you could just expand a little bit on why is this important, and what if you don't do it?
Yes. So compliance is a very important thing that all companies need to follow. In fact, once a company begins, when they start working, there is a mandatory period of 30 days within which they should start working on all their compliances, failing which they can face a lot of problems legally as such. Because since this is a legal mandate, I would say, so that is the reason that we should take care of these compliances initially itself. Otherwise, compliances, they help in enhancing the customer trust that all these companies they require customers to function. Now, once these customers they see that all these companies which they are working with, they are compliant and they are aware that these companies are dealing with the law, they are taking care of the law, they are following all the law of the land and the quality standards, they are likely to trust the company even more. And because of which they are able to give not only give them more business, they also get the confidence for referring them further and thereby increasing the business revenue.
Excellent.
In
Excellent. So I understand the point you make about about increasing the trust and the and the business benefits of that.
yes,
But it's confusing. I mean, there's Udhyam and there's the MSME Act, and there's a variety of Shops and Establishment Act, and there are a variety of these things. So if you could just help the audience understand a little bit about what some of these compliances are.
all right, sir. So these compliances are for different kind of companies. If, for example, if a company is having I would say if there is a kitchen system they have, then the compliance that they would require would be with FSSAI. That is a food security system,
Okay.
and they'll have to maintain those compliances for them. For example, if they are having a big setup where more than 20 number of employees are working, then they also would require a compliance as far as fire is concerned. For that, they will have to depend on the fire department to provide them with that NOC, because they are compliant with all the requirements that fire safety provides.
Fantastic. So for different
Then
kinds,
there
yeah, please carry on. Please carry on.
So then there are certain compliances which are concerning the employers, like employer benefits, for example, maternity benefits, ESI, and other gratuity act and all those things, which are required by all companies to follow. Once a company has more than 20 workers working with them, then all these compliances are essential for them. Failing which, there are big penalties that have been put by the law, that in case these companies are not following them, then they will have to, even there are chances when there are director imprisonments are also there. So it can lead to serious consequences also. So our suggestion to all our to all our clients, companies, small companies, big companies, corporates, as well as the startups, is that these compliances should always be in order for them.
So that was really useful, but it's also raised some other related questions.
Yes,
and one of those questions is, look, when you think about a businessman, somebody is a software developer, somebody is a digital, creator, somebody is manufacturing something, somebody else is trading some other stuff.
Yeah.
How do they figure out which of these compliances apply to them? Is there somebody who can actually audit those compliances or something for them, or how do they know?
Absolutely, absolutely, sir. So these kind of this, like every company or every business is run on the way they are working on what they the product. For example, if a company is manufacturing some product, so they are specializing in that. Similarly, for this purpose also, we have specialists. We have business coaches like you. We have legal consultants like us. We have company secretaries. We have a full legal team who are working on this, who specialize in this. So these are the people who provide a complete review for all these companies. They are able to take care and understand that when and how these compliances are to be done, and also limit them in the time frame that they have to be done with. So I would suggest that all these companies should have a legal team at least within their framework, so that they are able to stay in track or stay in touch when abreast with all these compliances running in order with their companies.
Yeah.
So there are legal departments and there are legal consultants. So if a company has in-house legal department, it is very good for them. But generally, they prefer to have legal consultants and business coaches like you who can advise them. A detailed, comprehensive review is done by these consultants, so that they can prepare an audit report, and which not only will apprise them of the necessary compliances, but will also give them an of idea of the priority that they have to set as far as risk categorization is concerned, because the reports are as per high priority, medium priority, and low priority.
Understood.
Because there are so many compliances, and not all compliances can be done at the minimum time that they have to start a business. So it moves with time. But all these compliances have a level of priority. For example, if a particular compliance is not on the high priority list, it is on the low priority list, then the company need not bother about it at that particular point of time. But this kind of check can be kept only by somebody who is well known to all these things. So here is where a legal consultant steps in, because he's somebody who specializes in doing that. Like a doctor specializes in particular surgery or operation or anything. Similarly, these legal consultants, they are able to take care of all these operations.
That's fantastic. So Vibhu, what I hear in a sense is, just like you are advised not to self-medicate, you shouldn't try to do this all by yourself, because you probably miss something out.
Because not a person who has not studied law, or has not studied all these things, will have little knowledge. And little knowledge is always a dangerous thing, and especially for the business that they are running. And they are wanting it to expand and enhance.
Yeah. And I think, the next logical question is, and I'm glad you mentioned that, you prioritize them so you don't do them all together.
Yes.
Because some part of it is, do I run my business or do I manage compliances?
Yes.
The other part is that, in a small and medium business, cash is always, is never plentiful. Let me put it that way. I wouldn't say that it's missing, but I just say it's not always plentiful. And a lot of people would worry about, how much will this cost me? But, is there a sense of a sort of cost benefit analysis of this? If you don't, if you don't spend this money here at this point in time, here's what the penalty could be. Because at the end of the day, people must make that decision, knowing fully well that, what could happen down the line. So if you could just help me with that, that would be great.
Sir, if you're asking about the penalties, so as far as penalties and fines are concerned, it varies a lot. It varies from 10,000 to 50 lakhs, depending upon the kind of offense has been committed by the kind of company in the kind of business they're in. So it is a case-to-case analysis basis.
Yeah. So in a sense, if you save on spending, say, 50,000 rupees on a piece of software or on
Yes.
some other kind of IP, and hypothetically, if that becomes an issue, down the line, you might end up spending a whole lot more than.
Yes, sir, definitely.
So that is a risk.
Compliances, they don't cost that much as to what the amount of loss these people will suffer if they are not compliant. Because not only will their business suffer, but there are also chances of business shutdown
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
Because most of these, if they are not following especially if they are not following the employee compliances, then any disgruntled employee or any unsatisfied client or anybody complains of, then there are huge problems that company faces.
I understand. So
From shutting down to huge fines ranging from lakhs and lakhs.
So if you were to take a rough look at prioritization,
Yes, sir.
what would be the top 2-3 things that you'd advise people to prioritize to begin with?
Yes, sir. So the topmost thing that I would suggest that people is that once they start a company, the first and foremost thing is that they need to get in touch with the registrar of the companies,
Mhm.
ROC. Because registration of the company is the first and foremost compliance that they are supposed to do. Once they are registered, after that, all the compliances that are called, these are called corporate compliances.
Mhm.
And all these employer-employee compliances, they fall just after that. So,
Okay.
for example, if you are having more than 20 employees in your company, then for what are you doing for their benefit? What are you doing for their productivity? Because everything that these employees do will depend on what the employees are being fed on.
Hmm.
If the employees are being taken good care of, their productivity level goes higher.
Hmm.
And once the productivity level is higher, then business booms.
Hmm. Hmm. So registration, corporate compliances, and people related compliances.
Employer-employee compliances, then those gratuity, provident fund, and maternity benefits. All these compliances they follow in line along with that.
And of course, that depends on the size of the company, number of employees, etc.
And then what the kind of business that the company is engaged in,
Mhm.
that follows.
Okay.
For example, if the company is required to if the company is required to have FSSAI standards or fire NOC, so this all will depend on the setup of the company, the working of the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great. I mean, so obviously, one thing that's clear is that one shouldn't try and do it by oneself. One
Yes,
should
sir.
get some qualified advice to to get this done. Now, what should they do if what should a business owner do if they don't have these compliances?
All right. So we are talking of a situation where they have just started the business, or they have been in business for some time and they have just got to know that they are non-compliant.
Hmm.
So these are two different situations.
Mhm.
I will talk about both situations if you allow. Okay, so in the first situation, when a company has just started and they get to know that these are the kind of compliances from a legal consultant that we have to go in for. So they will have to have a proper meeting with the legal consultant. Legal consultant will make a proper audit report, and in that audit report, he will categorize all these compliances on high, medium, and low priority basis. And on the basis of that report, it is the legal consultant only who will help them in getting those compliances done,
Okay.
right from data management to everything.
Yeah.
Then,
A couple of questions related to how much time the business owner needs to put into this. I mean, I know it's a hard question to answer, but
I will just get to that if I am able to answer the second part of that first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Please
continue. Yes. So the second part where the company is already functioning, and then they get to know from either a disgruntled employee or from a customer who is not satisfied with the work, that this is the kind of compliances that they are lacking. So now that this is a very difficult situation for a company. Because in case the disgruntled employee or the customer approaches the labor commissioner, then in that case, company will be liable for damages, fine, as well as director imprisonment also sometimes.
I see.
Yes. So in those cases, legal consultant plays a very important role because he knows that in case these compliances have not been done at that point of time, how will he be able to bring them back into the same situation as to what a legally compliant company would be if they were functioning normally? Yes.
Okay.
So in that case, what we can do is that whatever time has passed. We can always have a meeting with the labor commissioner, and we can explain the reason and the exigency that as to why this particular compliance was not done at that particular time.
I see. Okay.
All these things can be managed and negotiated, but the most important thing is that we should start the process the moment we get to know about it.
Yeah.
Because time is an essence.
Understood.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
And when we talk about time being in essence, how, a business owner will say, I want to spend most of my time doing my business.
Yes, sir.
How much time does it really take to get on top of this? Like, I know it's a tough question because the situation could be different in every organization, but just to get a sense.
See, what I have seen in all these years, that in few of the companies, the time taken was because they started in the initial stage itself. So within 2 months or 3 months, within that span of time, they were able to make all their high and medium priority compliances in place. And low priority compliances are done as per requirement of time.
So it's a matter of a few months, not.
It's a matter of a few months. Because, like I already said, Indian legal system is the best codified system in the world. So if we follow that, then we'll be in the safest hands.
That's excellent.
And it can be ensured by the help of a proper legal consultant if you get in regular consultation.
Yeah. And I would say, if it's taking a couple of months, that also puts a kind of the cost in a reasonable kind of frame.
Definitely, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Just I have just one more question quickly again on the same in the same area. If the business owners really busy doing their business as they are, and they probably should be, who in their organization should be responsible for managing compliances?
Right. So basically, in any organization, the HR team, the company secretary, and their in-house legal team, all of them together are responsible for maintaining the legal documentation as far as all compliances are concerned within the company.
But what if it's a small company and they don't have a company secretary, and maybe somebody in finance doubles up for legal, and somebody doubles up for HR?
That is also absolutely fine, sir, because there are external consultants available. There are external legal consultants available who can do all of this.
Right.
Like as if they were doing for somebody in-house.
That's fantastic. So great. There was a lot of learning there. Thank you so much, Vibhu. That was a very informative discussion. I'm sure many business owners will benefit, or at least begin to review the things that you shared today, and make their businesses more sustainable by having a good, solid, legal framework.
Absolutely, sir. I'm glad I was able to help.
Yeah. So thank you so much. And this is a primer. This is just the beginning. I hope we can have more conversations about more complex matters going forward.
Absolutely, sir. I'm waiting for it.
Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.